Go ahead and leave us a voicemail, 629-888-3931, with your most unpopular college football take ahead of the 2025 season. Got one from our guy Zach in Traverse City. He's got a strong feel here. Got some there's making a prediction and calling your shot. Then there's what Zach gives us here as it pertains to Ohio State and Michigan and Texas, Oklahoma. Don't listen to me. Go ahead and take a listen to this voicemail.
Hey, JD. My name is Zach. I live in Traverse City, Michigan. I have got a strong take that I think would be awesome for the sport if it happened. I am going to predict, crazy prediction, that either this year or next year, 2026, we are going to have not the best rivalry in college football, but the two best rivalries in college football. Michigan, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Texas. Both teams are going to play each other a second time, whether that be in the conference championship or in the playoff. And on top of that, I'm going to say whatever team in both of those matchups wins the first time will lose the second time. Let me know what you think, JD. Thanks. Love the show. Bye.
Oh, Zach. Just in his bag, man. Cato was calling it the Oz the Mentalist bag, and I don't think he's off by any stretch of the imagination there. So you heard the prediction. You heard the take. Let's unpack it here. First, I want to talk about the teams. Then I want to talk about the is it good for college football side, because I think that's really, really intriguing. So this is not crazy in its own. Like Ohio State and Texas, those are your two favorites to win the national championship this year. So them making the playoff this year, potentially making the playoff next year, would not shock anybody. Michigan, with their roster trajectory, with them using some of that Oracle money, right? That Dave Portnoy money along with that, and Bryce Underwood, like the trajectory there feels pretty fair to assume they could be a playoff team here, if not this year, then in the next 2 years. So that checks out. Oklahoma is kind of the last leg of this parlay that would need to hit to make this a reality. John Mateer, if he's everything that we think he could be, and then some, which would be saying a lot. We're talking about putting on the Superman cape, probably in that Heisman finalist discussion, and then the Brent Venables defense lives up to what a Brent Venables defense has been known to be with that brand name. It's not crazy. It's not crazy. It's very so possible. I think when you look at what next year could be, too, for Oklahoma, if John Mateer says, you know what, run that back, Turbo, I need another year in Norman, then maybe, just maybe, Oklahoma on the back door, knocking on what could be the college football playoff. I think that could happen this year, full transparency, but the schedule is the schedule. We'll see what Oklahoma's draw is in 2026. To address the other part of his conversation with, the first team that wins not winning the second time, I can get behind that. Like, a ton is there. We'll see what the context is when we get to those games. You'd like to think with as emotionally charged as both rivalries are, losing to Michigan one time for Ohio State in the span of a one college football season, you'd think that second time for that exact same team playing them, there would be some extra juice there. Same thing for Oklahoma and Texas. Now, I know what you're saying if you're watching from home and you're a Michigan fan. JD, I mean, Michigan every single year beats Ohio State, and Ohio State hasn't done anything about it. I think if it was the exact same roster and there was, from November to December, if we're having this conversation between Ohio State and Michigan, you would hope there's a little bit extra something emotionally for Ohio State to get it done. Neither here nor there, but to unpack his prediction, his take, I think it's possible. I don't think it's crazy. I think it's very possible. It happening at the same time is where you're really trying to thread the needle there, and so it does come down to, I think, in large part, what you get from quarterbacks from all these guys. Like we haven't seen John Mateer at Michigan, Julian Stanton at Ohio State, Bryce Underwood at Michigan, or Arch Manning at Texas just yet. Now they could all be there in 2 years as well, but like I want to see how that whole thing plays out, but I see the trajectory. I see how it could happen. The really fascinating part of this conversation, which Zach brought up, is he started his call with, I think it'd be good for the sport. And listening back to that voicemail a few times, that was the part I kept coming back to. Is it good for the sport? Where I landed was, I think this is good for the sport as much as you are okay with there being a rivalry game played at a neutral site, not during the regular season. Right? Because I think with Michigan, Ohio State, that game being played the last weekend of the regular season, noon kick, a little bit crispy in the air, whether you're in Columbus or you're in Ann Arbor, there's a certain romance to it of the home field and it being the season finale and a lot of impact on what those teams' postseason aspirations are going to be historically here is a pretty large part of that. Same deal with Oklahoma, Texas. Middle of the year, you're in the Cotton Bowl, which is a neutral site, to be fair, but we understand it's kind of like a very unique neutral site there for Texas and Oklahoma. It's not a corporate setting. It's a neutral, as passionate college football neutral setting you can have in the entire sport of college football, for my money. I think that it is important for us to preserve the natural resources of college football, which I've talked about many times here. But I view this one a little bit differently in the sense that I think it's okay for us to be able to take these rivalries so long as they're awesome during the regular season and both teams earn a spot in the postseason. I have no issue with us playing Michigan and Ohio State in the month of December for the Big Ten championship or in the month of January for a national championship kind of spot. Same deal with Texas and Oklahoma. The way I think about this is you have the natural beauty of college football, the natural resource that is these rivalries that I kind of view as like glacier water, right? Like in and of itself, it's perfect. It doesn't need to be tampered with. It's beautiful. But at the same time, I'm here for us to package that up and show it to other people as well. We're not sacrificing Michigan and Ohio State. We're not sacrificing Texas, Oklahoma and saying, no, you know what, because they're going to play in the postseason, we're not going to play that in the regular season. I think it's okay to have both and. Because I think one thing that I have a tough part with in the modern era of college football is we are sacrificing a lot of what has made the sport great for what people in the corporate world think is going to, broaden our reach with the sport. Like, I'm not really a big get the sport to as many people as possible kind of guy. I think the people that are the sickos for this sport show up for the sport year in and year out. But as long as we're keeping those rivalries awesome during the regular season, if the chips fall in a way where we get Michigan, Ohio State in the postseason, the same thing for Red River, cool. Awesome, because you know what? There's a lot of people that won't watch college football during the regular season for whatever given reason, but they will find a reason or they will find themselves in a spot now, whether they're at a watch party or they have friends that are extra dialed in, they will find themselves in a spot where they sit down on a couch, whether for or against their will, and watch Michigan, Ohio State in the semifinals of the college football playoff. Same thing with OU and Texas. And when you get people as a captive audience in that setting and they get to see some of the best rivalries in the sport, I think that's a good thing. I really do. Going back to what I just said, glacier water's awesome. I think we keep that what it is, but if you can bottle it up and take it to the masses and let them experience that in some small capacity, I'm not against that. I think that's a good thing. So would it be good for the sport? As long as we preserve the regular season, I think we'll be good for the sport. So, Zach, I appreciate you calling in. Could see this happening. I could see us getting both these rivalries in the college football playoff or in their conference championships, respectively. Probably would lean more so it being a playoff matchup for both these teams. A lot would have to happen. Totally get that. But with the potential at quarterback for all four of those teams, I don't think it's crazy, and I'd be excited to get those rivalries on an even bigger stage for some people that maybe wouldn't watch it during the regular season. But let me know your take. Again, at JD Piquel, Instagram, Twitter. Hit me up there and let me know your thoughts on this. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Want to do the content you want to see, so you subscribing further equips us to get that done. For Cato on the ones and the twos, for myself, JD Piquel, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We will keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.